On today's show, we're breaking glasses with voices in a good way, speeding through time with another country for artistic expression, and giving you the key to the city, all right here on Front Row Center. Welcome everyone, I'm Nakaya Berry.
And I'm Randy Fainrich.
Welcome to the first episode of the third season of Front Row Center.
The cool thing about doing an arts and entertainment show in Las Vegas is, well, it's Las Vegas. The entertainment capital of the world provides plenty of avenues that go beneath the surface of the Las Vegas Strip, and it's our pleasure to bring you those stories. Nakaya, you ready to get the show on the road?
Let's do it, Randy.
Tourists from all over the world keep this city in the middle of the desert thriving.
And right now, China is celebrating its most important holiday. Here's how one hotel in Las Vegas honors this special occasion.
Oh, it's beautiful. This is one of our highlights when we come every year. It's always fun to see the changes. So Chinese New Year now, so it's pretty cool.
Celebrations for the longest and most important holiday in Chinese culture makes its way to Vegas.
We feel we stand out above the rest, so we really don't compare them to anybody else. We feel we are number one.
Bellagio Resort's Conservatory and Botanical Gardens honors Chinese New Year, also known as Lunar New Year or the Spring Festival. And guests cannot stop taking pictures.
We actually have a feng shui master come in and walk the areas with us to make sure that the colors that we're bringing are traditional colors, along with the theme and thought process.
The first thing that really hit me was just the sights, the colors, and the smell. It was gorgeous.
Each year is named for one of the 12 animals associated with the Chinese zodiac. This year is the year of the yang, translated as the goat, sheep, or ram.
We have, the pagoda, the Japanese pagoda and traditional bridge, and that has water going underneath the bridge. We also filled the place with 9 different lantern chandeliers. Then we have our Chinese children, which are topiaries made out of fresh cut flowers.
It certainly adds some culture, and it's very cheery and welcoming and very different from what's going on outside.
Bellagio's Conservatory and Botanical Gardens is open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Reporting for Front Row Center, I'm Nakaya Berry.
Think for a second. When was the last time UNLV received any type of national award or recognition? Was it the Runnin' Rebels back in December when they knocked off Arizona? Was it the football team when they made a splash by signing high school coach Tony Sanchez? But what if I told you the most recent time was from the UNLV Opera? Joining us today are the director of the opera, Linda Lister, and sophomore soprano, Lacey Birchfield. Ladies, thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So we'll talk about the national awards and stuff that you've gotten in a second, but the first question I have to ask is, how long has there been an opera here? I just graduated from UNLV, and I didn't know in my entire time here that there was an opera. So how long has it been here?
As far as I know, at least 20 years. There's been, strong music and a theater program here at UNLV, and that's our goal, to get people like you who didn't know that opera is here. It's alive and well.
That's right, and that's why we're doing part of this show right now. Great. So I want to talk for a second. How did you get your start in opera, both of you? How are you guys inspired by opera, and when did you guys know, both of you know, that it's something you'd be, really good at? And we'll start with you, Lacey.
I knew that I wanted to do opera when I got to UNLV. Before that, I wanted to be a music educator. I've always been in choir, and I was always inspired by my choral directors. They were always great people, really impacted my life, and I decided I wanted to go down that route as well. And then I got to UNLV, and opera really impacted and changed my life, because I just think it's awesome.
And for you, Linda?
Well, I started off in high school in musical theater, and they would always say, your voice it's too operatic, it's too big for musicals. And so I didn't know what they were talking about till I got to college, and then I discovered, you get to sing in foreign languages, but it's still acting and just the beauty of singing. So that's how I got
something that captured both of your attention very well. All right, so now to the national award. Last month in January, you guys went to the National Opera Association for collegiate competition, and you took home first place in 2 different categories. Can you explain, what awards you did win in what categories, and how was that? What was that feeling like to know that you got first place, not only just in the West region, but in the entire nation?
Yeah, it was a thrill, of course. We took scenes from 2 different in 2 different categories. We had an opera graduate division, Opera 2. We did a scene from a production we did last year called Sancta Susanna, which is about this nun who kind of goes crazy. So I knew it was very dramatic and it might have a good chance. And then there's a new musical theater category that they'd started, and we did a scene from Into the Woods, which the movie just came out, so it's pretty popular. And you never know. You go to a competition, you can't assume anything's going to happen other than that you just show up and you do your thing. But I was just so proud of our students on all levels. They represented us well, and they seemed genuinely thrilled and shocked when they won. So that was the best part, to see their faces.
Absolutely, a lot of hard work. Now I understand next month in March there's another production coming out, The Marriage of Figaro, right? And Lacey, you're going to be into that. Can you tell us a little bit what that play is about and what dates actually that you guys are going to perform?
The days that we're going to perform is the week before spring break, which
March 20th to 22nd.
20th through the 22nd, and the play is about. Well, it's funny that it's called The Marriage of Figaro, but one of the main characters, Susanna, she's on stage almost the entire time. And Susanna and Figaro are servants of this count, and the count is very promiscuous, and even though Susanna and Figaro are getting married, he still keeps, insisting that, they should be together, and he's kind of fallen out of love with his wife, and his wife is upset, and it's just a day of madness trying to get people to fall in love with the people that they're supposed to be in love with.
That's awesome. Now I understand you're going to give us a performance from a song from that production, correct?
Yes, L'ho perduta, it means I have lost it. My character, I'm supposed to deliver a message of sorts to Susanna, and I lose it.
All right. Well, without further ado, sophomore soprano Lacey Birchfield from the production The Marriage of Figaro. That was awesome, Lacey. You can catch Lacey Birchfield and opera director Linda Lister March 20th through 22nd for the production of The Marriage of Figaro. When we come back, a look at some unique artists around the Valley, and Nakai will sit down with members from UNLV's theater group who are looking to work side by side with fellow actors from the other side of the Atlantic. Stick around.
No one chooses to get breast cancer. The only choice we have is how we will deal with it.
We were lucky. Before we were ever treated for breast cancer, we planned for life after breast cancer. We made the choice
that breast cancer would not take something away from us.
Unfortunately, not every woman knows her choices. And for the sake of all women across America, that has to change. And you can help make it happen. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons is supporting a bill that will help make sure women who are facing breast cancer surgery are told about all their options. It's called the Breast Cancer Patient Education Act.
Every woman has a right to plan for life after breast cancer.
But too many breast cancer patients are being left in the dark.
Help us bring this important issue to light. Call your member of Congress and ask them to support the Breast Cancer Patient Education Act.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European pro golf tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs of autism.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back from the break. The human skull is a scary taboo symbol to most, but to these artists, it's all about perception. Alyssa Stein has more.
When you think of the cranium, does artwork come to mind? The Skull Biennial presents the work of over 40 artists in its 3rd edition.
It's really interesting. I like seeing all the different mediums and formats. There's just a lot of really neat stuff going on.
Their work reflects folklore, religion, science, science fiction, medicine, pop culture, erotica, and themes taboo. Artist Aaron Shepard's piece, Choking It Out, is one of the exhibit's favorite.
So this piece, and then thinking about the title, Choking It Out, I wanted to relate to, I've been doing a lot of reading too, and so that's where my headspace is, like kind of death and sex, relating that with this show.
For Front Row Center, I'm Alyssa Stein.
I'm sitting down with director Michael Lugering and choreographer Louis Kavoris, who are creating a unique play. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Great. So tell me about the play that you're doing.
Well, the play is called Time Lapse, and it's a kind of fascinating project because we're working on a performance in 2 different places, in 2 different countries, with 2 different schools.
Sounds complicated. And you're actually rehearsing right here in the studio. So why is that instead of on a regular theater stage?
Well, because the project is going to stream live via the internet from here all the way over to Weston in London, in England, in the United Kingdom, and stream back. So they'll be performing there, and we'll be performing here in your studio, and there'll be an 8-hour time delay, and it'll stream live on the video, and there'll be an audience here and an audience there, and we're also rehearsing it in this studio with them in real time via the internet.
That's a new concept for people to grasp right there.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because often the internet's been used to do performances where maybe a vocal performer or an instrument, someone who plays an instrument, is in one space, and then a performer like a dancer is in another space. But what was interesting about this project is the performers are in both places at the same time, in both different spaces, so it really kind of shakes it up.
So how and why was UNLV chosen along with the school in Weston?
Well, I have to say, you dance with the one that brung you, that they contacted me and asked us if we were interested in doing some kind of collaboration via the internet. And at that point, I said yes, and we didn't know whether we would be Skyping or however the project would go. And through our collaborations with UNLV TV and the department here, we were able to use the TV studio and develop work with a software system called UltraGrid that is open source material that they have worked on and developed and built the computers for, and we have one here and we've sent one over to the United Kingdom, and it provides a sort of fast internet service. I don't really understand how it all works, but it's sort of like an HOV lane. So we're now down to what we hope is 1/20th of a second time delay between here and there in this performance piece.
All right, so it sounds very exclusive.
Well, I don't know that there's that many schools doing it at this point. This UltraGrid software has been used, I think I've read at least one occasion in the performing arts, and it's been used a little bit in the medical industry to do like open heart surgery in 2 different locations. So it's a great privilege and a great opportunity, I think, for UNLV and for both the School of Communication here, the Greenspun School, and the Department of Theater and the Department of Dance. And when you add to that a collaboration with another university in another country, I think the project is exciting, and we're excited about it.
Yeah. And time lapse is the theme, so tell me about that theme and what it means.
Well, we hunkered in on the time lapse concept just simply because there might be a time lapse between what's going on there and how long it takes to stream that to here, and vice versa. But as we started thinking about it, time is a huge concept for us as human beings, and it's a phenomenon that human beings are so hyper aware of. You know, my dog has a concept of the day, but she doesn't have as many meetings, or as she doesn't have a clock. And we really go by a clock. So the time thing, and when we think about yesterday, today, tomorrow, what do I want to get done in this part of my life? Time is a big factor. It's a big thing we think about.
And the audience is going to be watching the play on a screen and going back and forth between London and the studio here. So how does that take away from what a theatrical play is, and rather than compared to watching a television show?
Boy, I don't know that I know the answer to that. I will say I think this production is going to sit somewhere in between a piece of live performance and a sort of taped, previously recorded television show. So I think it's kind of a hybrid, and that in and of itself, I mean, it will be live, it will be in a TV studio, and so I think it's sort of a combination of both.
So tell us where we can see the play and when can we look forward to it?
Well, the opening is the 23rd of April at 9 a.m. in the Greenspun Auditorium, and there's another performance on the 24th at 8 a.m.
And the reason we're in the morning is that we have an 8-hour time difference between here and London. So you have to say, I'm coming in the morning at 8 and 9 rather than at the evening at 8 and 9. And if you want information, you can call the Department of Theater at 702-895-3666.
All right, well, we're making history right here, and it seems like all of Vegas should look forward to it. We can't wait. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
And we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The Action Team.
Action Team! Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
I don't think anyone captured my first steps on camera. I was the 5th kid, and by that time, first steps weren't a big deal. I was 16 and driving home with my brother Ben. A distracted driver hit us. Ben died on impact. I had 47 days in a hospital bed for reality to settle in. With a major spinal cord injury, doctors said I would never walk again. But deep down, I knew I would. I prayed that every day. Family, friends, strangers, all started to pray for me to be able to walk again. The progress has been slow, and the victories hard-won, but I feel the prayers.
Whether you need support in a tragedy or just to make it through a bad day, prayer can make a difference. America, let's come together by believing with each other.
For someone to come alongside you and say, I'm going to believe with you, it means a lot.
When in Rome, do as the Romans. The saying is centuries old, but it still rings true. Living in Las Vegas, we all can spot tourists from a mile away. So how does one figure out how to blend in? Well, now, there's an app for you to do just that. Joining us right now are Alexandra Lourdes and Drew Belcher, the co-founders of Unlocked, the first and only app source for people to find local, endorsed, hotspots. Thanks, guys. Thank you for being here. So talk to me about the development and the idea of Unlocked. How did you guys come up with this idea?
So the idea came from, Alexandra and I have known each other for 6 or 7 years, and we were out at dinner one night, and we were thinking, is there anything that we can search and find awesome, cool hotspots? Just local, great businesses. And there's Yelp and there's Google and everything, but nothing really focused on the local lifestyle. And we're like, man, we got to make this. I mean, we don't know anything about app development. I got a background in business. She's getting her PhD. We knew nothing about it, but we had to get it done. Luckily, we got it done. And now, it's all about the local lifestyle. That's it. It's presenting the local lifestyle for everyone to get.
Alex, did you think that this app had already been created when you guys first came up with this idea?
Well, after we had the idea, because him and I used to travel a lot, and I've been all over the world, so many different countries. So when we were talking about it, we were like talking about when we go to a different city, we want to know where the locals go. That's usually the #1 question. So you type in Google, best local restaurants, and the amount of stuff that comes up in a Google search is just unbelievable. And it's all about who pays the most to be on that first page. So when we were talking about it, we're like, okay, we need to bring credibility back. And that's what we're always saying now, that we want to bring credibility back and talk about what are the best local spots and what are the ones that locals really do. And so we started looking specifically for that. And we didn't find anything that focused strictly on that. And it was all about advertising. It was all about like touristy sites. So whenever, like, top 5 best places to go. And we found in Vegas, like, the top 5 were constantly on the Strip. And him and I have lived here for, I mean, he was born and raised here, and I've lived here for 8 years now. So when we found out that they're recommending only spots on the Strip as the best places in Vegas, we're like, all right, we'll for sure got to do something about that.
So what exactly then were you trying to achieve? I mean, it sounds like it wasn't just a get-rich-quick scheme. It was kind of more like explore Vegas outside of the 2.5-3 mile strip that is Las Vegas Boulevard.
I mean, yeah, because a lot of people, they don't realize that Las Vegas is one of the biggest culinary destinations in the world on the Strip. But off the Strip, you also have such a culture diversity of all these restaurants stirring up and popping up. I mean, we have great steakhouses, great chic and trendy dining spots, great coffee houses, great date night spots, awesome burgers, all off the Strip that people don't even realize. And it gets overlooked a little bit because Las Vegas is, when you look at Las Vegas, you think of the Strip. But Unlocked is here to focus on that local lifestyle off the Strip.
Now, Unlocked isn't just an app, correct? You guys have a website, you have a blog, you have a couple other things. Explain to me what exactly people do when they get on this app or the website. What exactly is presented in front of them?
So when it started as the app, and then we branched out, and we're like, okay, we need a website to back up the app. And then we started out with, and then we branched out because people were like, okay, we want to follow more, we want to get to know more about it. So then we started the blog, we started having a newsletter. Obviously, it all started from our social media. So then that's why we were like, okay, we'll branch out more from that. And then we started a publication as well, a little book that featured the stories of the owners of these spots, so to give it kind of a personal touch. And so when the locals go on now, they can go to any of those areas and they'll get a different feel. So if they want to know about the background and the owners, they can go to our book. If they want to know kind of like a group of like what are the top 5 brunches for this month, they can go to our blog. If they want to follow us on where him and I are going, they can follow us on social media. And if they want to just know the basic, everything we've done is on our app. So we cater to everyone and the needs of what people are looking for.
Awesome. Alex and Drew, thank you guys for being here. Thank you very much. Unlocked's currently only available in Las Vegas, but it will be throughout the United States soon, right?
Very soon, yeah.
All right. Time now to toss it over to Alyssa Stein with a look at our upcoming events. Take it away, Alyssa.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Stein, and here's a look at what's happening this week. Tomorrow, you can catch Alice, a steampunk concert fantasy, at Vinyl inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, where they'll perform power pop hits from Lady Gaga, Evanescence, and Duffy. Tuesday, February 17th, you can see America's Best Dance Crew alum, the Jabbawockeez, perform their latest show, Prism, live at the Luxor. For all you club goers, on Wednesday, you can catch the dynamic duo GTA at Light Nightclub inside Mandalay Bay. This Thursday night, catch the midnight showing of Hot Tub Time Machine 2. In this sequel, a group of friends played by Rob Corddry, Craig Robinson, and Clark Duke fire up their Hot Tub Time Machine and attempt to get back to the past one more time. Audiences know they're in for a good time when Anna Gasteyer steps up to the mic. Catch her comedy show at the Smith Center this Friday at 7 p.m. The rock band Dr. Dog will be at the House of Blues inside Mandalay Bay on Saturday. The band boasts a unique indie rock sound that is strongly influenced by the Beatles and the Beach Boys. And finally, on Sunday, February 22nd, the Trailer Park Boys will perform their hit mockumentary into a full-fledged comedy show at the Joint inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Until next week, that's what's happening in Las Vegas. Back to you, Randy and Nakaya.
Well, I'm glad to be back for the 3rd season. Randy, welcome to the 3rd season. How do you think we got it off to a good start?
I think so. I'm very happy to be a part of this production, and it surpassed my expectations, and I think we had an awesome first show of the season. I really do. Now, during the first show, the opera singer, it's 19 years old. Could you believe that opera singer?
Wow. I always wanted to see an opera performance, and I'm so glad I got to see it on Front Row Center.
Well, we have one at UNLV that I'm sure most of us didn't even know about.
I will definitely check that out.
Absolutely.
And what about Chinese New Year? Are you going to check out that garden at Bellagio now?
Yeah, it seems like it's really cool, really interesting. They put a lot of effort into that stuff, and I think it's free to go check out. So
yes. And the app, are you going to check out some new restaurants from the app now?
Yeah, well, Unlocked. I mean, I've lived here for a few years, but I definitely think the app's a good idea, and I can't wait to see what happens when it goes nationwide. All
right.
That's all we have for you on this season's first installment of Front Row Center.
Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at FRCLV, and don't forget to hashtag FRCLV to keep us in the loop.
You can also get a hold of us by emailing frontrowcenterlv@gmail.com.
This is Front Row Center, where art and entertainment collide. See you next week, Vegas.